Most older men think they know when a young woman is interested. They look for the smile, the lingering eye contact, maybe the playful touch. But here's the truth. Almost all of them, 97% to be exact, completely miss the biggest sign. And it's not in her body language, it's in a question. A single, seemingly innocent question that, if you're not paying attention, slips right past you. But when she asks it, she's not just making conversation. She's testing the waters. She's revealing her interest in a way so subtle that only the men who truly understand women pick up on it. And if you miss it, you might just miss your chance entirely. Before we get into what this question is and how to recognize it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you never miss a single video like this. On this channel, I share the real, unfiltered psychology of attraction, the things no one tells you, but every man over 40 needs to know. And trust me, you're going to want to hear the story I'm about to share. I want to tell you about a man named Richard. He's 56, a successful architect, charming, well-spoken, but when it comes to younger women, he's completely clueless about the subtle cues they drop. One evening, Richard was at a friend's birthday party. Music was playing softly in the background, the kind of low-key gathering where people lingered over wine and conversations stretched into the night. He was standing near the kitchen island, sipping his drink, when she walked in. Emily. She was in her late 20s, confident but not loud, the type who draws attention without even trying. They'd met briefly before through mutual friends, but tonight, Emily seemed different. More engaged. More curious. She walked over, smiled, and started with the usual small talk. But then, halfway through the conversation, she tilted her head slightly and asked, "So, do you come here often?" Now, here's the thing. That question wasn't about the party. She already knew this wasn't Richard's regular spot. What she was really doing was opening the door for him, giving him permission to extend the interaction, to move beyond casual chatter. But Richard, like most men, answered literally. "No, just came for the party. I don't usually hang out here," he said with a shrug, and then he changed the subject. Emily's smile faltered just slightly. She turned to grab another drink, and within minutes, she was in another conversation across the room. The opportunity was gone. Here's what Richard didn't understand. When a young woman is interested in an older man, she rarely comes out and says it. Instead, she'll drop low-risk, conversational hooks. Questions that seem harmless but are loaded with meaning. They're her way of saying, "I'm interested, but you need to show me you can read between the lines." The question could be anything from "Do you come here often?" to "What do you usually do on weekends?" or "Have you been to this place before?" On the surface, it's small talk. Beneath it, it's a test. Can you turn this into connection? Can you take her from neutral territory into a space that feels personal and exciting? When she asks a question like this, she's giving you an opening to flirt, tease, or invite her into a more engaging conversation. For example, if Richard had been paying attention, here's what he could have said. Instead of, "No, I don't usually hang out here," he could have smiled and replied, "Not really, but I might start coming here more if you're around." See the difference? That turns a throwaway moment into playful tension. It shows he's confident enough to acknowledge her interest without being heavy-handed. Younger women often see older men as experienced, not just in life, but in reading people. They expect you to pick up on things that younger men miss. And if you don't pick up on them, it can instantly lower their attraction. Why? Because in her mind, if you can't recognize her interest, maybe you won't recognize her needs in a relationship either. This is why 97% of older men lose their shot, not because they're unattractive, not because she isn't interested, but because they fail this very first, very subtle test. Now here's where it gets interesting. A few months later, Richard saw Emily again at another event. This time, he remembered our conversation because by then, I'd already told him about the question. They were standing outside during a break, the cool night air carrying the faint sound of music from inside. Emily approached him with a warm smile. They chatted for a while, and then she asked, "So, have you been to this place before?" Richard's heart skipped. There it was. The question. Instead of answering plainly, he leaned in slightly, holding her gaze just a moment longer than usual. "No," he said with a half smile, "but I'm starting to think I should let you give me the grand tour." Emily laughed, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear, and replied, "Careful. I might just take you up on that." From that moment, the energy between them shifted. They spent the rest of the evening together, and by the end of the night, they'd already made plans to meet for coffee. When a young woman asks you a question that doesn't need to be asked, something she already knows the answer to or could figure out easily, pay attention. That's your green light. Don't treat it like small talk. Treat it like the opening move in a game she wants to play with you. And here's the key: respond in a way that adds energy, not just information. Your goal isn't to answer the question, it's to use the question as a springboard into connection. So next time you hear, "Do you come here often?" or "Have you tried the food here?" or "What do you usually do on weekends?" don't just answer. Play. Tease. Show where you understand what's really going on. Remember, attraction isn't built on facts. It's built on moments. Moments where she feels understood without having to spell everything out. The men who get this, the 3% who don't miss the question, are the ones who walk away with her number, her attention, and sometimes, her heart. So the next time a young woman asks you that seemingly innocent question, will you notice it? Or will you let it slip away?